Alright, so in today's video we're going to take a look at the Mercedes-Benz ALPINE, not to be confused with BECKER, but these are actually ALPINE CD-Special radios, and they go under at least two model names that I do know, so MF2197 and 2297. So these are actually a precursor of the Audio 10 CD model, and inside they actually share the same disc mechanism. Unfortunately, I have two of these that are broken, so if anyone has any of these for sale, do let me know. I'm actually looking for one. But anyway, so let's get some more light going. Boom. Maybe not this one. And yeah, inside it's also similar to the Audio 10 CD, but it is a bit of an older model, right? It doesn't have the RF section on the edge, it has it on the bottom, and they also have this stupid daughter board which just holds like 8 capacitors in total. That is crazy. Oh wait, yeah, it has a bit more resistors and whatever on the other side, but anyway, they surely did not have enough space in this one. So this is how the mod would look like. Right, we have the cables that are going to the front panel, and these are for controlling tracks. So this would be next, previous, and play, pause. Right, so those are mapped and go over here. A little standoff with some kind of celastic. This is, it's not silicone. So I've siliconed everything in just so it doesn't fly off. Little DC-DC converter that takes 12 volts from the bottom over here, right? So this is a permanent 12 volt supply, ground, and you can see another wire going into the DC-DC converter. This has an enable pin, which I am taking all the way from here. I'll show you the diagrams in just a moment. The audio actually goes via two SMD capacitors. So I'm using a bunch of these. I don't know what footprint these are, but yeah, they're rated, they should be rated for at least 10 volts, and mine aren't, so probably do not use these. You can find higher ratings, right? They're 100 mic, 6 volts. Do try, I don't know, 80 mic, more volts, basically. And then on the audio side, we're injecting sound into this mixer IC from Philips. This trace is cut over here, right, just below E208. You can see a fine cut, and that is basically the AM from wherever feeding into this chip. We're disabling the AM input, and we're just injecting left and right channels somewhere in the pipeline, right? So this sound injection is actually after the mixer. So whatever you're playing, if you put Bluetooth music over it, it will superimpose, basically. And so you want to select AM. That will clear up the sound path because nothing is on AM, and then you can add your own sound, basically, from either AUX or a Bluetooth board. So I recommend QCC3008 boards, and I have videos on how to program these right at the top, and I'll include probably a playlist in the comments. These are still pretty good, right? Bluetooth 5.1, I think they are. This would be a gain for the amplifier. This Class AB headphone amplifier, this is from Texas Instruments, sounds super good, but do not boost its gain unless you really have to. It's like insanely loud if you do. All right, what else can I say about this? In particular, this model radio does have a very, very full and thick, like juicy bass, right? It really sounds the best out of all of them. I don't know how powerful it is. I think it's 4x15 or something like that. Nothing too spectacular. So let's go over the diagram. I'll show you what has to be cut, what has to go where, and then we'll do a quick demo. All right, so this would be the diagram. One more thing I want to mention, on the DC-DC converters, I really like using these. Alright, so on the DC-DC converters, you'll find these on AliExpress with small DC-DC 3 amp or 3A. right? And these have a very low quiescent current. They have a very wide input range. I've used these up to 30 volts. They're not rated there, but they will work fine. And these require a tiny amount of prep. And I do suggest going barbaric. So you do not most definitely want to use this resistor because this catches dust and water and everything, and it will drift fantastically over time. So rip it out and clean the murder site ever so slightly. Yeah, maybe a bit more cleaning is due. I just don't want solder shrapnel flying all over the place. This is fine, right? It's clearly butchered. And there's one more thing you have to do. Please note that there's an enable pin, which we are taking to this spot on the board, right? This tiny resistor over here. You 100% have to remove this resistor, right? Because this is a pull-up. What am I doing? Okay, so now that's also butchered. Is it clean? Clean enough for the girls that go out, but yeah, should be fine. Probably touch this up with the soldering iron again. Anyway, so you want to do this because otherwise the constant 12 volt supply that we're taking from the bottom will actually backfeed into whatever circuitry is here, and it will kill radios. Like, this is a surefire way to kill your radio. So be very mindful of that, right? Just pop off this potentiometer, this resistor, and then you have to bridge 5 volts, right? And I do recommend buying isolated modules, right, that have this galvanically isolating DC-DC converter, because it just makes it sound way better. And you can take them in the 12 volt variant, the 5 volt, sorry. Just buy the 5 volts, and that'll give you ample room to step it down from whatever is over here, right? On a low battery, it's going to be 12 volts. On a full battery, it's going to be 4.5. So if you buy the 12 volt ones, you cannot tie it up directly because these have a very small input range, and they actually track the output with the input. So do not buy the 12 volt ones. Just don't think about it. Get a 5 volt one and get a regulator. These are like less than $1 a pop. If you buy like a kilo, they're probably going to be around 20 cents. So, and they're great. I do recommend them. I've never had them fail in my life, and I've used about 200 to 400, I think, to be very honest. All right, so as I mentioned before, you're just going to take 2 wires off of here, just scratch this pad over here, as you've seen that I've done over here, right? Just a little scratch, and then you can solder to it. Over here on the top of the resistor, nothing too spectacular. I've added a bit of this elastic over here, just to keep all the wires snug. What else? Enable I talked about, and for the sound path, you can solder onto this wire over here. It has a huge via with some solder in it, so that's pretty good. And then yeah, you're gonna have to use a pretty sharp soldering tip. I use something like this to just solder directly to the pins of this TEA, whatever it is, chip. And yeah, make sure you don't forget the capacitors, because this sound path is at about 6 volts. And as far as the sound fader control circuit that we're talking about, right, it's this IC that we're injecting into. And just show you guys how this actually works. Here's the following. Can we get rid of the sidebar? No, we can't. Really? All right. That's annoying. Okay. So you have the inputs on the left, and then after the source selector, you can see that the sound path actually goes out and back in. Out and back in. And this will be left, this will be right. I don't remember. So we're checking 23, let's see, so 23, right. Okay, so this would be the right side and this would be the left side, and what I'm doing is basically connecting, which one am I connecting to? It doesn't matter, right? Either one of these on either side of this 220 nanofarad capacitor. The one I've chosen here must sound better. I don't know which one it is. You guys can check it out. But yeah, and then it does go into all this volume, bass, treble, whatever, right? And then comes out at the bottom. And as for the input, it's either this 14 or one of these stereo ones that is actually split from the wire I've cut at the bottom, right? So we're basically severing the connection here and then adding sound over here. So I think that covers most of the theory. One more thing that you have to do in order for this to fit over here. I don't know if you noticed, but the DC-DC converter is extracted from the board and added SMD style over here, right? Unfortunately, I don't have another one that has the mod done to it, but it's not a big deal. Just yank on these, heat them up side to side, pop it back in, and it will fit perfectly. If not ever so slightly snug. So let me actually add this back in to show you guys that it does actually fit. All right. Boom. Okay. And as for the button control, I'll bring in exhibit B. So on this particular radio, I have to take out the clips. These come out without any tools, or like they just yank out, and you will get access to the board. Do I have one that's open? Yes, I do. All right, so what you'll have to do in the case of these older units is to heat up this solder, and probably with a pair of snips, which I've lost. All right, heat it up with a pair of snips and then just bend it straight. Same on the other side, and then and only then will the board come out. Let me see if I can demo this. Oh, and be extremely careful. This is the cheapest, crappiest phenolic board I have ever seen in a car radio by far. So you want to have grips on all the sides because this is very fragile here and the traces will break. And I've had this actually happen to me once and it is traumatic. So basically once you get access to this faceplate, all the magic will happen on this side, which we can see depictured here. So we have it like this and then boom, spun around. And yeah, as for cuts, quite a few. Right, I'll just freeze this into shot so you guys can make a screenshot or just pause. And we have 10 cuts, 1, 2, and 3, which sever this connection completely. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh shit. 7, 8, 9. Disconnect this pin completely. And 10 is over here, and I think that's it, right? As for jumpers, I use magnet wire, kind of this gauge. I don't know what this is. We have 2 links. One of them connects, so this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, and the bottom of this capacitor. And we have a second link that just connects this one with this one with this one. And once you've done all this prep work, you can actually connect wires that go down to the Bluetooth module. And on that side, you have common, play, previous, and pause, and next, sorry. And this common is actually a 1.8 volt supply from inside the QCC chip, so be careful. Make sure all these cuts are nicely separated and that everything checks out with the meter before connecting it. But yeah, that should be it. And then you'll have button control, which is definitely worth the work. So it's going to take 3 times longer to actually have button control than just audio. But trust me, it is mega worth it, as I will show now. Okay. So once we hit AM, should see the Bluetooth module come alive, and it has, and it entered pairing. So let's pair with it. Boom. All right, and as for button control, skip, previous, play, pause. And play pause will also answer phone calls and enter pairing if you long press it. Right, so it does quite a lot of stuff. What else can I say? I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or want to mod your own radio at my shop, let me know down in the comments. Have a good one.